Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video we will be learning about how inheritance works. And inheritance is very important in programming, in object-oriented programming, and basically in all software development you have some kind of inheritance. And this is a lot due to the fact that we do not want to have code duplication. We want to duplicate as little code as possible, we want to reuse as much as code as possible, and therefore we have inheritance. So think about this class person. I mean, first of all, it has a lot of information about one person, about a person like name, age, gender, height. Now imagine that we want to create another class called employee. And so what this employee class will do is that it will describe an employee. For example, if we want to track employees in our organization, maybe we want to build software that tracks some kind of employees, and you realize that in order to track employees you need an employee class, and each employee is inherently a person. Each employee is a person because each employee has name, age, gender and height. So a stupid way to do it would be to copy this and just paste it here, and you then have all of these variables in your employee class. But as you realize, it is not a good way to do it. Instead, we want to inherit, we want to get all of this information, all of this logic, all of these methods from the person class and kind of copy and paste them automatically into employee. So the way we do it is by doing this and then public employee and then public person. So in this way, we have the situation where all of the information in person, all of the public information from person is now being copied to employee. And also what we can do is that we can create a constructor right here, and we can also say that whenever you have a constructor in employee, we still need all the data, so the name, the gender and the age. But whenever you construct employee, also construct person. So run the logic for constructing person when you are constructing employee. We will soon see how it works in more detail, like this. And so what we can do now is that we can replace here with employee. Let's build and run, see what happens. Let's see, we have some bugs here. Let's see. Let's try to, first of all, let's remove this. Let's also add public here, which we forgot to do, and build and run. And as you can see, this works. As you can see, we have constructing object, height is 1000. Why is it so? I mean, what has happened really? Well, the thing that has happened is that we created an object of class employee. So basically C++ looked at this and reasoned, hey, you know what? We are actually creating an employee here. And when we are constructing the employee, we gave it this data, but C++ looked at the constructor in employee and saw this, that, you know what? When we are constructing employee, jump to this code right here and execute this constructing object. And here you set all of the variables. So name, age, gender, and you see, the employee now has all of the methods of a person. So for example, the employee can now, for example, print info. You can print info about the employee, and then this information will be printed. So let's see how this works. So you see, we get all of the oops, let's see what has happened here. Actually, what we want to do is ivan.print info, like this, because it prints inside of itself. So you see, you have constructing object, the name is Ivan, 21, male, 1000. The reason we have 1000 is because we haven't set the height. We can still set the height. So you see, although we have the employee class and Ivan is now an object of class employee, we're still able to access all of these methods in here because an employee is inherently a person. And now you can, for example, set the height to 300, and if we run the program, you see the height of the person is 300. But you know, an employee also has differences from person. What we have done up until now is that the employee is exactly the same class as person. We've just copy-pasted the functionality in person into employee. And I just show you how to do this. You do this constructor and then you tell C++, you know what, when you construct employee, also construct person. Use the same logic when you are constructing person. But now you can also add own variables that are specific for the employee class. For example, you can add the salary in here, and in the employee class you can have that salary from the beginning is equal to 100, and then you can have a method here that is called print salary, and here you can have cout the salary of, and then you can have name, and then you can have is salary. Now, I mean, guys, this will not work. This will not work, and I will show you shortly why this will not work. Let's see, print salary. But I'm just telling you now that we're adding extra functionality to the class employee. We still have all of the access to the old information, old methods, old variables, but now we're adding the salary, because the person only has name, age, gender, and height, but an employee, it has all of this information, all of these variables, all of these methods, but it also has salary, and it has this special function called print salary. However, you will see now we have a problem here, because if we build and run, you see that name is private. And private works in such a way that it is only, I mean, these variables right here are only accessible within the class itself. They are not accessible in our subclass. And here we are trying to access name that is defined in here under private. So the way we can fix it is by number one, moving it to public. So if I build this now, you see that it works, that we have age of person 21, height, gender, and also salary of Ivan is 100. However, this is kind of bad. This is kind of bad because now it is public, and if we have, for example, a person, we can actually access this variable right here as well. You see name is green. Name is accessible from the outside the class also. What we want to do is that we want this variable name to be accessible only within the class itself, within the person class, and within all other classes that inherit person. So in that sense, what we want to do is that we want to put it within protected. So there are private variables, there are public variables, and there are also protected variables. And so protected variables can be accessed from within a class. So everything that is within person, all the functions and methods here can access name. But now name can also be accessed from inherited classes. So if I try to run now, let's see, build and run, you see that it works. We're able to access the name variable here. But if I try to access it here, for example, Ivan.name, you see that it is blue. It is blue, and it means that if I try to print it and try to access it in this raw fashion, it will not let me do it. It will not let me do it. You see, name is protected, and we're trying to access it from outside the class, and we're trying to access it from outside all of the inherited classes. So this will not work. But now we have print salary. And just as a comparison, I mean, you see Ivan is an employee here. The object Ivan here, it is employee, and it has all of these features. It can print info, print salary, it has a salary, and it has height, it has get height, I mean all of this info. But now if we create a person, let's create a person Alex, and Alex is not an employee. Alex is just a person. You see that Alex doesn't have anything to do with salary. He does not have these methods with salary and print salary. But Ivan has salary and has print salary. So guys, I hope you understand inheritance. I hope you understand how we're able to create a new class called employee, basically get all of the crap from the old class, basically get all of this information from the old class, and if we want to access variables, we need to put them in protected, and this is how you also do the constructor. You call it like this, so you can invoke old logic from the superclass from the class you are inheriting in, you can reuse the constructor, and here you can add an extra variable. For example, you can add int s, and you can even int s will be the salary. So, and the employee can have its own customized constructor with salary, and now you can actually set salary to a specific value. So let's say that my salary is 99999, this much, and if I build and run, you see that now I have my salary here listed. And so I hope you guys understand how it works. I hope you guys understand the reason why we have inheritance. I hope you are a bit smarter. I hope you understand the protected access class, protected variables, and what the difference is between public, private, and protected. And I'll see you all in the next video. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy.